Roasting coffee transforms the chemical and physical properties of green coffee beans into roasted coffee products. The roasted process is what produces the characteristic flavor of coffee by causing the green coffee beans to change in taste. Roasting is a heat process that turns green coffee into the fragrant dark brown beans we know and appreciate. Roasting brings out the aroma and flavor that is locked inside the green coffee beans. But what exactly happens for this transformation to occur? I'm here to show and tell. Roasting causes chemical changes to take place as the beans are gradually brought to very high temperatures. When they reach the peak of perfection, they are quickly cooled to stop the process. In general, roasts fall into one of four color categories: light, medium, medium dark, and dark. Traditionally, coffee was roasted in skillets over an open fire. This is still practiced in many parts of the world, especially at origin, and by coffee enthusiasts at home. There are two main types of modernized or improved roasting machines: drum roasters and hot air or fluid bed roasters. Whichever the method of roasting, coffee goes through 5 stages of transformation. Drying. Here, the green or raw coffee bean starts off containing around 10 to 12% moisture, and the coffee roaster is usually preheated when the raw bean is first put in the roaster. During the initial few minutes, the bean is warming up and the water contained inside is beginning to evaporate. A large amount of energy is required for this first part. The second part, browning, is where the beans have dried out and they now begin to brown and change color to yellow, then brown. The aroma at this stage resembles the cinnamon spice. The browning reactions going on inside the coffee bean cause it to expand and it begins to shed its thin, papery skin, also known as chaff. At this stage, the smoke starts, although most of it may still be steam. The third phase is the first crack. Gases and water vapor have been building up inside the coffee bean and it begins to emit an audible cracking sound when the pressure is finally released. The cell walls are exploding. The sound is very similar to that of popcorn as it pops. At this stage, the coffee bean has been roasted enough to be used to make coffee, although it's up to the roaster to decide at what point the roasting actually stops. Although it's generally true that the acidity will be quite high and you may get a lot of sourness, especially when making an espresso, it's good for cupping. The fourth stage of roast development is where the flavor of the final product is mainly governed by how long the coffee bean is subjected to heat after the first crack stage. The longer the time, the less the acidity and sweetness, but the more the body and balance. The coffee bean becomes browner and the surface smoother. It's essentially the medium roasted phase and the coffee undergoes a transformation into something wonderful. The flavor of coffee roasted to a medium roast degree is derived from caramelization of sugars and the reaction of sugars and amino acids in the Maillard reaction. It's very similar to the flavors developed through the browning of meat on a grill, for example. During this period, the coffee turns toward darker shades of brown and the aroma develops into a nutty, cocoa-like and malty character. The final stage is the second crack. At the end of the development stage, the beans begin to crack again. This time, it's a quieter, more crackly sound and it signifies that the structure of the bean is beginning to break down. They become darker, oils will appear on the surface and they start to look a lot more shiny. Beyond the second crack is the French or Italian roast stage, and essentially the original and unique flavor of the coffee beans has been lost. The bitterness here is high because the coffee has essentially been burnt. As you can tell by now, roasting is both an art and a science. It takes years of training to become an expert roaster. The difference between perfectly roasted coffee and a ruined batch can be a matter of seconds. A light to medium roast is best for quality analysis or cupping to understand the intrinsic qualities of the coffee before purchase, usually performed at cupping labs. A medium roast is best for regular brewing, which can be by steeping and sieving, filtration, or pour over. A medium to dark roast is best for espresso beverages prepared using a range of brewing equipment, such as the famous espresso machine, the Italian stovetop or mocha pot, the Ethiopian traditional jabena, or the Turkish brewing method. All these brewing methods will be coming to you in more detail in our upcoming brewing episodes. Stay tuned.